Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. I am so happy you could make it here on this wonderful Friday. Luna is here joining us, and her brother Max is, well, he's hanging out in the window where he loves to be. So I hope you and your animal friends can join us. We have the most wonderful guest. Her name is Elizabeth Bava, and we're going to be talking about listening to animals through your hands. And I hope you're having a great day. Just take a seat at the cafe, be with your animals, say hello to everybody as you're coming in. And without further ado, I am going to share with you and introduce you to our wonderful, amazing guest, Elizabeth Bava of Eponia Animal Therapy. Sorry, I had a little bit of a moment there. I said Eponia, it's Eponia Animal Therapy. Sorry about that. So Elizabeth is, she's certified in both equine and canine sports massage, along with Reiki and TTouch. And Elizabeth has been working with horses and the humans that love them for over 13 years using these modalities, along with another modality called Surefoot, which she may or may not share with you. But without further ado, I am going to just bring Elizabeth on. Hi, Elizabeth, and welcome. Would you like to?
Hello.
Hi. Would you like to share a little bit about, that anything that I left out about you? Just tell people who you are, maybe about your animals.
Yes, well, first, Janet, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience in the Animal Cafe because, as all of you, I am a great, great, great animal lover. We are all born animal lovers. We will always be animal lovers, and animals are such a huge part of our lives. So, I share my home with two magnificent Anatolian Shepherd dogs and two wonderful cats, and they enrich our lives, as you can imagine. And I wish I could have a menagerie of animals that I could take care of. But anyway, besides that, yes, so I do equine massage, equine sports massage,
Mm.
canine sports massage, and I'm not certified in TTouch, but I have taken 6 or 7 clinics with Linda Tellington Jones.
Wow.
And I think TTouch is also a wonderful bodywork modality
Mm-hmm.
that is something that I can show and demonstrate and teach to animal owners so that they can do some type of body work on their animal. I feel that all animal owners should know a little bit of body work
Mm-hmm.
besides grooming and besides just simply petting their animal, because it helps one be more in tune to the animal at many levels and definitely in tune to their body more. And so I will show you a little bit of T-touch, something simple that you can do later on.
Oh,
And
good.
I won't get into Surefoot now on this
Okay.
program, but Surefoot was developed by Wendy Murdoch, and it helps horses with their proprioception and many other issues. So I'll just leave it there for that. And yeah, so
Yeah,
I will
no.
begin.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead if you want to just go right into it. Feel free
Yes,
to.
so
Yeah, thank you.
the subject and the title of today, listening to your animals through your hands, I think is important because it is a way to connect with intention, and it is a way to be aware of your animal at a deeper level just besides grooming and petting. Um so before one is to really connect with intention through the hands with one's animal, it is important to ground oneself, connect to Mother Earth. It is also important to get rid of your junk. So come in, come in that sacred space with your animal, or in the barn, and leave all your worries, your troubles, negative emotions, and feelings out of that sacred space. It's just you and your animal. So create that sacred space. Be aware of that sacred space. Be present and in the now. That's why you need to breathe and do belly breaths and be aware of your breathing and be mindful. And the most important thing is open your heart. Your animals have huge, huge hearts. At the spiritual level, they are much more open hearted than many humans are on the planet. And we have to recognize that because they teach us so much.
Yeah.
And so don't be in a rush. Take your time. Be congruent and honest with your animal. Tell them if you're going into this sacred space with them, tell them you're not feeling well or you're having a bad day. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to your animal. They know. They know emotionally everything that goes on with you. So be honest. And set a positive intention for communion to take place, for healing to take place, for understanding, and for higher levels of communication to take place. Because um, your animal is a sacred being. We are all sacred beings living on our sacred planet. Everything is sacred. So, having that mindset of the sacredness and the spiritual beings that your animals are changes everything. It brings things up to a higher level of consciousness and awareness in your communion with your animal. So when you lay your hands on your animal, you set the intention for understanding, for peace, for calm, for relaxation, for healing to take place. By setting the intention of healing to take place, healing will take place. And so that's very important. And to have both hands on your animal as you go through the different parts of the body. What does the animal communicate to you? What do you feel in the muscles? Yes. Did you
So,
have a
well, I was going to, before you get into all of that, so I just
mm-hmm.
wanted to just, well, first of all, we have some people that are saying hello.
Hello?
And before we get into the nitty gritty, I just wanted to just kind of ask some questions myself. So, this is
Oh, yes.
basically anybody can do this, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Anybody can do
Yeah.
this.
So,
We are, yes.
so just for people that aren't familiar with this, just to let them know that, when you're talking about both hands, were you talking about mostly for horses, or could that be applied to a smaller animal, or what are you talking
Any
about?
animal.
Okay, great. And
Any
also,
animal.
just
It
wanted to,
helps improve connection.
oh,
It helps. You're
nice.
fully connected
Okay.
when you have both hands on the animal.
Okay, that makes sense. So I just also wanted to just say hi back to Lisa from Toronto is here saying
Oh,
hi.
wow. Hi.
So hi to Lisa, and Emma's here. Hey
Hello,
Emma.
Emma.
So welcome everybody, and anybody else, please feel free to leave your comments in the comments, and we will also get to your questions because Elizabeth, I think you're going to take us through like the steps of what you were sharing. So just so I am clear and clear with everybody, what you were sharing with in the beginning was kind of getting us ready for
Yes, the steps to get
before,
ready.
so instead of just like a lot of people go right up to the animal and they don't even ask their permission and they just put their hands all over them and the animal's going like, excuse me, I didn't. It's like, what are you doing? So you were doing this beautiful job of talking about how to get ourselves ready and get
Yes.
into that beautiful space where we're very grounded and connected before. And so that's when I interrupted you. You were about to get to what comes next. So I will be quiet and I can't wait to hear what comes next. What's next?
Yes, yes. So the preparation is important because you want to create that sacred space. And it's like, well, I don't know if I should say this, but it's like going into the cathedral of nature and the forest and the trees. It's that sacred space where you're in communion with all that there is, with your animal, but connecting to your animal connects you to all the other animals, all of nature and all of creation. And that's a sacred place to be in. And to energetically prepare yourself properly as you start to go into that sacred space. Yes, asking permission, being with your animal, and understanding that this is a special time for both of you to be together. It's not, oh, I'm grooming my horse and I'm chit chatting with all the other people in the barn. I'm watching TV while I'm petting my dog or cat that's on my lap. That's fine. You can do all of that. But when you have the specific intention to listen to your animal, through your hands. You must be in that sacred space. This is not uh you have to be mindful. It's a mindful process.
That
So
makes
you
sense.
are you are prepared, you are ready, your animal is welcoming you, and you just be in that quiet moment, that silence, where you have both hands on your animal for connection. And um, if you're not a body worker, that's fine. But doing whatever comes to you intuitively with your hands, one hand could be doing something, the other hand could be there for support as you have both hands on your animal, and just passing your hand over the body, feeling for tension or stress, seeing how the horse, cat, or dog, or any other animal will start to relax as you listen and feel every muscle, the fascia, every aspect of their physical body. And being very aware of every inch of their body gives you a lot of information. You can feel things, tension, knots. So, on the physical level, you can feel where there are uh, reactive areas as well, where there could be discomfort or pain. So, you are aware of that, and you're telling your animal that you understand, that you realize, that you can feel what's going on. And then from there, you can take steps to help your animal. And day by day, you can also notice changes, which brings more awareness. So, when you might need to call the vet, or when you might give your horse 2 days off from work, or, it's
Mm-hmm.
just being mindful,
Mm-hmm.
being mindful. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's so important. And then from the information you get from your hands, you have to just bring up your intuition and continue grounding and breathe in sync with your animal and just feel that energetic connection, physical connection, emotional connection, mental connection, and ultimately spiritual connection. Because they are huge spiritual beings on a spiritual
Mm-hmm.
path, living on earth in the physical world as we are. And this is a gateway to go in there and truly um, speak to the God sparks in them, through their cells, and tap into stored information that's in their body by listening and intuiting what comes.
So
And
for
it's just,
somebody, so if there's somebody that doesn't understand about like intuition or how do I know that it's me or them, so let's talk about that. But really, um, there we have. I think that this was Lisa that she said one time she was reading a book, animal communication, and she was doing a visualization in her kitchen, just making dinner. She looked down and she heard her cat say, "We are all children of God," and she kind of says she was really thrilled, but she also wanted to know if it was the extra strength Tylenol or not.
no,
Was that something that she was getting? And
absolutely.
because of that, but as you and I both know, that's absolutely came from her animal. So
Yes.
don't you
And
think?
that's
I think that's
beautiful.
wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So what about? So is there something you can tell somebody who's like never had this experience before, and they're putting their hands on their animal, doing a certain modality? What does what can they how do they know that it's telepathy, their animal, or it's them and they're making up? Do you know? Can you explain that?
Well, first of all, trust. Trust is the most important thing, that you're not making anything up. We are human beings that have been raised in society and through school where the left brain and the dominant logical part of our being has been, um, you know, favored over the right brain intuitive side. So we have many of us have lost our ability to intuit, but we
Mm-hmm.
want to create balance.
Yes.
And by creating balance, we want to have give, let's say, right brain, left brain equal parts. We want to be more whole human beings where we intuit as much as we use our logic. And so I would say that trust that you are that spiritual intuitive being, just as you are that rational logical being. And trust that you are receiving communication. Trust that it's true and real.
Yeah, good.
And
Good.
and don't doubt at all,
Yeah.
because everyone has that ability. It's all part of who we are,
Right.
as
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so just don't have doubts.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, the intuition is it's our birthright. We're all born. It's nothing magical. We're all born with it. We
No.
just are told to when we're usually when we're children, things are changing now, but usually when we're children,
Yes,
about grade school, learning to read and write, we're told there it's not true, but it is.
it is.
But to just kind of move us along a little bit, I'm just really excited because you're going to show us a specific way of working physically with your animal. Do you want to go ahead and
Yes,
share that
of
with us
course.
now? So I will just it's all yours, and I will be quiet.
Yes. So, not everyone can be a certified trained sports massage therapist for horses or dogs, or a massage therapist for, other animals. Sports massage can be applied to all animals. So I feel that owners should know a little bit of body work, and that's why I go to TTouch, because TTouch can be used without having a set time, without having a certain sequence that needs to be followed or be even on both sides of the body. TTouch can be applied very intuitively. And it's something that people don't have to do perfectly. And with their set intentions, the result will be very good. And so one can go to ttouch.com and learn more about doing T-Touch, get books, watch videos. But the very simple, basic T-Touch I'm going to show you, and that I teach animal owners, in particular horse owners, is called the clouded leopard. So Linda gave names to all of the touches, but there is a very simple T-Touch that's called the clouded leopard, where one performs circular motions and moves the skin and then slides, does the circular motion again, move the skin, and then slides again. And it can be done anywhere on the body. And the circle is a clockwise motion.
So
And
you want to
it's,
show us as you're telling us,
yes,
like,
I will. But before, I want to just explain, it's a
oh,
circle
there you
and
go.
a quarter.
Yeah,
Excuse me. So
hold on. There we go.
I don't know if you can
Yes,
see here.
that's good.
So you you've imagine the face of a clock, and your fingers start down at the 6, and then you move the fingers all around, going up, around, back to 6, and stopping at 9. So basically, you're doing the circle by a clockwise motion: 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, and then you stop at 9. So the circle and the quarter, a slide, a circle and a quarter, and then slide. And then the very important thing to know is that there are different tempos, different speeds that you can do this, and different pressures. And so that is important to gauge, depending on the thickness of the muscle, depending on your animal's reaction. So be aware of body language. Sorry. I have bad allergies all the time.
It's okay. So I will just, um,
And so
oh, sorry.
by doing these circles and a quarter along the body with intention, you
Okay.
engage both the right and the left brain for you and of the animal too. And so, sorry, you can.
So Elizabeth, we have one of our. So I think it's Lisa. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, but don't be sorry. It happens. So she didn't. I think this is Lisa. She said she didn't see the slide part very well. Can you show it again? So, yeah, That's very good. Let me put you full screen. So she's starting.
You just slide.
So think of a clock. You just demonstrate, and so think of a clock because that's really good, and it might be hard to walk and talk. Just she said, start it like imagine a face of a clock, and you start at go really slow,
6.
Elizabeth. It's hard to see. So start at 6 o'clock.
6.
Go
And
clockwise around,
I go
right?
clockwise around, which might look
Pushing
the
the skin,
opposite.
right?
Yeah,
And
just
then
moving the skin, stopping at 9,
and
and
then
then you
you
just
slide your
slide.
fingers. Yeah.
You're just
So,
moving the skin.
so try this in yourself, and so you can do it on your own arm, do it on your leg, and just see what it feels like for you, pushing your skin like Elizabeth's doing. Did that help? Yeah, that's good, Elizabeth. I can see you really well.
So you keep your thumb on the body for stability, and you're using the pads of your fingers here. And you don't have, it's not this, in this particular touch, it's not flat. It's
there you go.
kind of
You got
kind of
it. Yep.
hard.
Up a little. There you go. Perfect.
So your thumb is resting on the body, and these 4 fingers are together, and you start at 6, go up and around, come past the 6 and stop at 9. Pause, slide, and do it again.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
You can have a very slow tempo, and you can have a faster tempo. In certain parts of the body, you can also have a deeper pressure or a lighter pressure. Sometimes this, what's the slide part?
Yeah.
The slide part is just the connection from one space of the body to the other space.
So
you're just sliding.
right, you just slide on the top of the skin without pushing the skin.
Exactly. It's just a slide, very light slide to go to the next part of the body where you're going to do the next touch.
Yeah. And I learned that you can do this on little teeny tiny animals and then giant, like you work with horses. And so what I was taught, so instead of
it's kind of hard to
pushing
show
like
on video.
Pushing like that and sliding, you can just use one little, say it's a little bird and they're really sensitive. You can take one little finger and do a little teeny tiny and then just slide a little teeny tiny.
Yes.
But with a bigger animal, then so what's the difference between working with a big animal and an itty bitty little, like a mouse?
There is no difference. You just adapt the touches, and there's another. So what we did was the clouded leopard, but there are many other touches. So there's the raccoon.
But let's just stay with the basic because people are asking questions about that.
But that's why you should go to TTouch.com to really learn about all the touches. But on the large animals, it's the same. And you can also use the flat of your hand if you want to cover more space and lift the skin and slide. And so it all depends. But the point is learning to do a little bit of body work is so important because it's very healing for your animal, and you are more in tune to what's going on in them physically.
Yeah, so I love what you just said about how bless you.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm so sorry you have a tickle. But if I understand this right, so as you're doing these touches, so we were talking about in the beginning, the listening to our animals through our hands. So you're touching the body with this touch. And can you kind of share with us how can you listen with your hand for somebody who doesn't understand how to do that? Can you explain, like you're doing your touch, you're doing your touch, and so how for somebody who doesn't understand how are you able to listen to them by doing this wonderful And also, this is such a wonderful way to have a better connection with your own animal companions.
It is. It is. You, with practice, you become more and more aware of what's going on beneath the skin, and you can feel knots. You can feel all sorts of issues going on muscularly and with the fascia, and that's why you, being able to do this regularly, you can note the changes in the physical body, and you will know when something's going on. You can feel it. You can feel a relaxed muscle. You can feel a tense muscle. You can feel where there's muscle atrophy or where there's a good, healthy, strong, athletic muscle. Um, and this also can tell you about discomfort and pain in the
Mm.
animal. And watching their body language, looking for reactivity, um, is also important because this tells you and gives
Mhm.
you information as well.
And a lot of this that you're talking about, it comes with practice, like being able
Yeah,
to know what the more you do it, the more you can understand what that body language, or sometimes there's pretty physical reactions too. They
yes.
really can let you know, but that takes practice, right?
It takes a little bit of practice and you have to get a feel for it.
Hmm.
And so I think just start very simply with your cat or dog or horse, and just start getting a feel for it and do it as often as you can. And the more you do it, the more you will feel and you will notice the subtle changes that may be occurring in your animal. And of course, it's when you're talking about a horse, it's really important because horses are very athletic animals, and um, if they're in work or having a lot of um, stresses put on their body from their work, then that's where you really need to be on top of things with their body work and being aware of what's going on so that you can help them recover, help them perform better, help them behaviorally, because very often with animals, we will speak badly of them in negative terms because they're hurting somewhere. And we are not conscious of what's going on. So if you are feeling their body, doing a little bit of body work in your own way, just listening to the body through your hands, then you can understand behaviorally sometimes what may be going on because of pain or discomfort. And so you can adjust. Sometimes you might need to call the vet and, go from there.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you talking about like just the very basic of TTouch, and giving us all that one basic move. That's like so important and a good way to get
Yes,
started, right?
yes, I think it's a good way. It's something that I can teach people when I'm in person with them.
Mm.
And that gives them the confidence to be able to do something more than just groom and pet and what have you, because it just puts you in a space of bringing more awareness, and the animal knows that you're really there for them, that you want to be there to help and to understand how they feel, because by touching with the hands physically, it also makes you more aware of what's going on mentally with your animal, and it also makes you more aware of what's going on emotionally with your animal. So it really provides greater awareness on many levels.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So, if anybody has any other questions, I would love to, just post them in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, please post your comments because we will be happy to, both Elizabeth and I, but especially Elizabeth, will be happy to,
Hmm.
answer your questions. In the comments, and well, here live if you have any questions. So, Elizabeth, if anybody wanted to reach you, how would they be able to get a hold of you?
Oh, yes, just PM me through Facebook at Elizabeth Bava. And then we will go from there.
Okay, so and her business is called Eponia Animal Therapies. Did I get that right?
Yeah, yes, yes. Eponia is a derivative of Epona,
Mhm.
and it's the Celtic goddess of the horse.
Oh.
So
Mm,
Eponia is a derivative of that,
mm.
and so that's how I
Yeah.
got the name.
Yeah. Oh, so thank you so much for being with us. I don't see any more questions, so I guess and our it's our time. So thank you so much,
Yes.
Elizabeth, for being
Oh,
with us.
thank
It's
you
just
so
been
much.
really wonderful, and
Sorry, I
um,
coughed a little.
oh, and
It's
I'm sorry you had a tickle.
allergies.
So just take good care of yourself, and
Yes.
uh, for those of you that thank you everybody for being at the Animal Lovers Cafe, joining us live or in the replay in this moment.
Thank you, everyone.
And we will be seeing you guys soon. Do you? Okay, one more thing. Okay. There's somebody asked the question, do you mostly heal through Reiki? So I'm not sure what that means exactly. And I'm not, who asked that? Lisa. So that's a whole other topic.
It is a whole other
It's a whole
topic.
other topic
However,
that we will talk about at another time, because
yes,
that has many modalities, not modalities, many
yes,
layers and many
yes,
versions. So this was more about working with your hands physically, and
yes. But one can integrate and add Reiki to the
absolutely,
work.
yes.
So,
And
yes,
and Reiki goes well with any modality, but it is a
yes,
separate modality. So,
yes.
yeah. So thank you for that question. Animals, I don't know the animals. Somebody said something about the animals, and thanks. Yeah, thank you everybody too.
Thank
So
you. Thank
thank you,
you.
and we are going to have a little music to say goodbye to. And thank you, Elizabeth, so much for
Oh,
joining us
thank you,
here at
Janet,
the
for having
cafe.
me.
Well, we'll see you and everybody else soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.